Hey, welcome back. It's time for another reaction video, and today I'll be reacting to top 10 things America stole from Britain. I'm sure there's probably some in here that I may be aware of. Maybe there'll be some new ones, who knows. If you want to take a moment to make some guesses in the comments before the video starts, feel free to do that. That might be fun to see if you can guess anything that is already on this list. Also take a moment to hit that subscribe button if you are new here or returning and not already subscribed. I'd really appreciate it. Let's jump straight into it.
From pastries to patriotic sing-alongs. Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 things America stole from Britain.
He likes American stuff. Oh.
Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're counting down famous facets of American culture which actually originated in Britain. While standout British inventions are subject for another list, today's countdown tackles typically American things, which the US has the UK to thank for. Number 10. Apple pie. As American as apple pie, right? Wrong. The sweet treat is a staple on US dining tables, but the British were the first to serve it way back in the 1300s. A popular dessert throughout European history, with Dutch and Swedish styles also inspiring menus worldwide, it was taken across the pond with the 17th century colonists. Since then, apple pie has become a standout symbol of US patriotism, as well as a central component to a teen comedy franchise.
It's not what it looks like.
Number 9. Why?
Do you like apple pie or don't you like apple pie? I particularly don't really care for it. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I'm a bit of a picky eater, I'll admit, but it's just not for me. YMCA. Okay, let's see what this one's about.
MCA. Way before village people turned this institution into a cheesy disco anthem, and long before the YMCA swept across America, the Young Men's Christian Association was the brainchild of English philanthropist George Williams. Dismayed by working conditions in 18th century London, Williams conceived the now famous charity as a safe place for its patrons. While the movement's worldwide influence is something to be proud of, difficult to imagine Williams joining in with the dance moves. Number 8.
I hope all these music clips don't get this video a copyright strike. Hopefully not.
Chocolate bars.
I think I'll eat it now!
Candy bars are big business stateside, but before Mars, Hershey's, Milky Bar or Baby Ruth, there was one bloke in Bristol making confectionery history. Joseph Fry finalised the first mass-produced chocolate bar in the mid-1800s, around the time that the Dutch developed a chocolate press. Fry's chocolate cream hit shelves in 1866 with a famed fondant filling, and the bar can still be bought today. John Cadbury quickly followed suit, while the likes
Thank you, Fry and Cadbury, for creating chocolate bars. It is one of my favorite things to consume.
of Hershey's didn't arrive until the late 1890s. Number 7. Sandwiches.
Could I have a glass of wine?
Okay,
And a ham sandwich?
if you like.
With a pickle?
All right.
Thanks to world-conquering fast food outlets, Homer Simpson and Joey Tribbiani, you'd be forgiven for thinking that this foodstuff was a US creation. However, the history of the sandwich is long and complicated, and very little of it happened in America. While early versions are recorded across Europe, it's named after the 4th Earl of Sandwich in Kent. The story goes that he was an ardent gambler, and meat between bread was the simplest way of eating without disrupting a game of cards.
Sandwich for display purposes only and should not be eaten.
Number 6.
I also quite like sandwiches. I eat a lot of them, especially when I'm doing things like I'm doing right now, which is filming reaction videos, because I will quite often film a lot of these videos back to back to back and don't have the time to stop and cook a full meal, and I'll just make a quick sandwich in between. So a little fun fact for you guys. I think I've mentioned in the past that my record so far of filming in one day is 79 videos in a single day that I filmed. You guys probably don't realize it because I typically try to change my shirt every time, but let's get back to this video.
The Office.
That's what she said.
And yes, we mean the TV show and not the actual open-plan workplace, which is largely a German invention. Anyway, unlike a lot of American remakes of British TV, The Office US did manage to tap into most of what made its predecessor pair. But after 9 series and a shed load of awards, let's just remember where it all started. Steve Carell's Michael Scott is hilarious in his own right, but for fans of the British original, he'll always be David Brent in disguise. Number 5.
I need to watch the British version. I really like Ricky Gervais and his sense of humor, and I know that he was in The Office, but I think he was also one of the creators of The Office, not just in it. I quite liked the American version. I think I got most of the way through it when I think Steve Carell left. Is probably about the time I kind of quit watching, just because I kind of lost interest in the show by that time because it'd just been running for so long. And I think Will Ferrell stepped in for a little while there. I'm not a huge Will Ferrell fan. I can't recall if I ever saw any of the episodes Will Ferrell was in, but you guys tell me if you're watching this from abroad and you love the show there in the UK. Should I check it out here? I think I have access to it on one of the streaming services, I'm sure. Or I could find a way around it with NordVPN. I'm not sponsored or anything, but I do have a NordVPN link in the description now that I'm thinking about it. But that's a way that you can get around where you can view what content in what country. So maybe I can find it somewhere. Sorry, I'm rambling. Let me know if I should check it out, though, The Office UK.
Plastic surgery.
Wow, that came out of me.
From Botox to boob jobs, America is the world's leading market for cosmetic surgery, with millions going under the knife every year. But the industry was by no means born in the USA. Sir Harold Gillies is often credited as the father of plastic surgery, a New Zealand-born, London-based surgeon who gathered leading physicians to treat thousands of soldiers who had been injured or disfigured in World War I. Gillies' work became a blueprint for all sorts of reconstructive procedures, and a starting point for today's aesthetic options. Number 4.
It's interesting that plastic surgery started as a thing to correct disfigured people from war, and now what it's become, it's like, I mean, to each his own, you know, like I can understand why some people want to get it. I don't foresee myself ever getting any kind of plastic surgery unless it was some sort of injury, perhaps, you know, and I got disfigured, but I would never just do it for vanity, is what I'm getting at. If you have an interest in plastic surgery and where it did become very much more popularized in the US, there was a movie with David Schwimmer and I can't remember who else was in it with him. One of the Olsen brothers, I think it was one of the Olsen brothers, Luke Olsen or whatever. Anyways, I think the movie was called Breastman. Interesting movie, kind of shows the history of how breast augmentation became like very popularized, and then how it kind of got out of control when they started going crazy with it. It's all based on the true story of the doctors who created that process. Pretty interesting movie. Anyways, let's move on. The light bulb.
The light bulb. A supposedly serial stealer of other people's ideas, Thomas Edison's light bulb moment is considered one of the most significant steps in modern technology.
Hey, Edison! How about sharing some of those light bulbs, huh?
Hey, figure it out for yourself, man!
But experts are continually divided on just how much Edison did to develop the design. Before the Wizard of Menlo Park, there were countless other scientists creating electric light and light bulbs, not least British pioneers including Humphrey Davy and Joseph Swan. The anti-Edison camp claims that the inventor's only skill was knowing when to patent.
One thing Edison did invent, for 100% genuine Edison invention, that we use every day, probably, most of us.
Is it nasal hair clippers?
Number 3. Donuts.
One little bite won't hurt you.
Now, the origins of the donut are a sticky affair, with claims and counterclaims sending historians round and round in circles. However, while the strongest suggestion remains that the Dutch took the treats to America in the mid-19th century, a 2013 discovery seemingly proves that the Brits were baking them at least 50 years before. Baroness Elizabeth Dimsdale's cookbook dates to 1800 and includes a strikingly similar recipe. A deep-fried concoction of sugar, eggs, butter and yeast, add some icing, and it's the real deal. Number 2.
So I absolutely love donuts. I don't eat them as often as I used to, obviously, because it's not very healthy. I see a lot of talk of eating Krispy Kreme donuts and Dunkin' Donuts here in the US in reaction videos, or people coming to the US for the first time or whatever. If you happen to visit Houston, Texas, there is a place here called Shipley's Donuts. And for me, those are the donuts I grew up on. I think there's like across Texas, I could be wrong, I could be misquoting this, 200 to 300 locations for Shipley's. I think Shipley's Donuts are the absolute best donuts I've ever had. Out of any donut brand or company, for me, it's Shipley's. If I'm going to have donuts, I'm getting Shipley's. And then a quick tip on that is you got to go in and get the glazed donuts right after they've been made. Say you don't want the ones on the front like on the display. You want them to get the ones from the back. And you have to eat them relatively soon after they've come out because they're still warm and melty and sugary. They are very, very sweet. If you're not real keen on sweet things, they are very sweet. And then they have just a great assortment of donuts overall. So love Shipley's Donuts. You should check it out if you come stateside. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do a taste test video on them from another country. I always see Krispy Kreme and Dunkin'.
Baseball. A national sport and obsession in the US, baseball was born in the UK. There are countless records of bat and ball games being played in Blighty, starting with stool ball in the 1300s. Sure, the rules have changed and refined over the years, but the basic premise is usually the same. Someone pitches, someone swings, others try to catch. In fact, some researchers argue that baseball is an offshoot of cricket, an English obsession which didn't catch on across the Atlantic at all. Number 1.
That's what I was actually about to ask about. It was cricket, so are there professional baseball teams in the UK? I don't really follow sports a whole lot, but I only hear about cricket, and I hear about rugby, and of course soccer, aka football, and but I don't think I really hear about baseball in the UK. I know it's popular in a lot of other countries, but I don't know. You guys tell me. Are there professional baseball teams in the UK? Is there a league of some sort? The Star Spangled Banner. Let's see.
The Star Spangled Banner. We finished.
That was a ridiculous movie, and I haven't seen it in years. And just seeing this, it always makes me laugh seeing this clip. Maybe I'm gonna have to put that one on my list of things to check out again because I haven't watched it in so long.
With a final salute for Great British influence on American culture, because the US national anthem is sung to the tune of an 18th century English drinking song. Baltimore wordsmith Francis Scott Key takes full credit for the lyrics, but the melody was written by John Stafford Smith, a Gloucester-born composer. The Anacreontic song, as it was originally known, was regularly belted around a prestigious London gentleman's club, where wealthy people met to wine and dine.
Do you agree with our picks?
I had no clue about that. I've seen videos on how the lyrics to our national anthem were written, but I didn't know about the musical side of it being a song that was sung in bars. So that's really cool. Yeah, if you guys think of any other things, they only did top 10 here. If you know of any things that perhaps the Americans stole from the British, let me know in the comments. If you have other videos similar to this you'd like me to react to, tell me that in the comments as well. Like I mentioned at the beginning, if you are new or returning here and you're not already subscribed, I encourage you to do so. And don't forget to do all the other things like share, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video. Later.